Thank you for allowing me to speak in this forum. My name is Trutessa Johnson. I am the daughter of Alice Johnson. She was sentenced to life imprisonment for her role as a first-time nonviolent offender in a drug conspiracy. She has served 20 years of that sentence, and she is 61 years old. What clemency for her would mean for me, for my family, is a second chance for us to be intact, to have a part of us, a part of our hearts that has been missing for 20 years restored to us. My mom has proven that she deserves a second chance, and my family deserves a second chance as well to be whole again. This has not only affected my siblings and I in that we have done this sentence with her, and I don't have to, a lot of people in this room and on this panel know exactly what I mean by that, but it's affected our extended family and friends as well. I can't tell you how many times I've had someone ask me about Aunt Alice, Cousin Alice, friend Alice, how is she doing? Let her know I'm thinking about her, that I'm praying for her, that we've never stopped hoping that she'd be home one day. This experience has changed all of us in the way we view the criminal justice system in the world. I no longer judge someone by their worst experience or worst deed that they've ever done, or think anyone is beyond redemption. Clemency would mean my mother would get the chance to be the grandmother that she's longed to be. My nieces and nephews only know her as Grandma Alice, who is in prison in that incarceration situation. And I know she would love for them to know her as free Grandma Alice, someone who is active in their lives and present. Clemency would mean no more missed holidays, no more missed birthdays, no more missed weddings, no more missed funerals or other milestones, no more calling on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day and was passing the phone around, everyone trying to get a word in before we hear that beep. We all know about that beep, letting you know that time is almost up. She'd actually be there, she'd actually be present. And one thing I really worry about is her medical care, especially as she gets older, you know, having access to the doctor she wants to see in a timely manner, being in control of her own medical situation and not be subjected to prison medical care. Just first and foremost, I miss my mama. I miss her humor, her wisdom, her always giving me advice. And to be honest, sometimes I don't want that advice or ask for it, but you know, whose mama does do that? She has more than proven that she deserves clemency, that she's more than paid for her crimes, and it's just way past time for her to come home. Thank you.
Next, we will be hearing from Mikkel West.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello. Oh. Thanks for having me. I'm here and I'm speaking for my mom. My mom's name is Michelle West. She's been incarcerated since I was 10 years old. She was initially offered a deal if she cooperated for 20 years. And she didn't take the deal, so she went to trial, and the informant that actually committed the crime of the murder was granted immunity in exchange for testifying against my mom and her drug conspiracy, and he walked free. And my mom is now serving 2 life sentences of 50 years. And I'm fighting to get my mom out. And it's crucial that this happens while President Obama is in office. I miss my mother. I'm the only child. We're best friends. My mom is responsible for having a career as a celeb stylist, and she's helped me along the way, and it's my turn to help her. And I want to see my mom across the finish line. She deserves a second opportunity. I really feel that since she was initially offered 20 years and she served 23 years, her time has been served. A bit corrupt. We got to continue to work together, even after everyone is free, to make sure that this doesn't happen again to other people. And I just miss my mother, you know. I'm kind of tired of this situation. I'm a lot tired of the situation. It's been a long time. I know that they say life isn't fair, but what happened to my mom truly was not fair. And she deserves a second opportunity and a shot at her life. So I thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak to you and share my story.
Thank you, Ericka.
Welcome.
Next, we'll be hearing from Kendia Riley. You have to unmute.
I'm a genius. Can everybody hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Today I'm speaking, well, my name is Kendia Riley. I'm speaking on behalf of my father, Darryl Riley, and my mother, Santra Rucker. They were both sentenced to life without parole when I was 2 years old. And clemency for me is kind of like, it's an opportunity to like have a family again. And I stress that because of the simple fact that at 18, everybody, since both of my parents were taken away from me as a child, everybody that I was left with to take care of me, to be responsible with me, passed when I was 18. So at 18 years old, I was living completely by myself. I didn't have anybody else to sit and take care of me, be dependent upon. So it's like that constructive feeling of having family or having someone there kind of like evaporated. And then I found myself with the council feeling like I had family and being connected again. And just to imagine that both of my parents are capable of coming home and being with me and being able to sit and love me and just treat me as that daughter, or just even the ability to have my first Christmas with them or my first Thanksgiving or just any of the holidays, or just, and it's just a chance to feel normal. And it's like clemency holds and yields so much power that it's truly unbelievable just to sit and think that at the age of 2, just to grow up without your mom or your dad in your life, just relying on other people and knowing that at the end of the day, if you want to hear your mom's voice, you can only hear it for 15 minutes and then the phone cuts off. Or if you want to feel their touch or be embraced by them, you can only sit and feel it through a visitation room for maybe 5 or 6 hours. So clemency is that chance to be held, or to sit in a car and listen to music with riding to the store with your parents, or it's just that feeling to be a person, the ability to feel love with your mom and your dad. And clemency would definitely do that for me.
Thank you, Kendia. Ashley Hughes, actually, if you would refer to the program for her, she had oral surgery, so she could not come on. But please refer to the program regarding her story with her mom and what clemency means to them. We'll hear from Melody Martin now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Melody Martin, and I am the niece of Curtis McDonald, who is serving a life sentence. He's been incarcerated for 20 years now. What clemency would mean to me is I will be able to see my uncle. 6 years ago, my uncle made the decision that he wouldn't receive my visits anymore because it became too painful for me and it became too painful for him. It's something about when you look back in the visitation room, it's a hard feeling when you know you're leaving your loved one there. And I'd been going out there since I was 16, so it kind of started to play on my emotions really bad. So 6 years ago, he told me that he wouldn't receive my visits and he'll see me again when I pick him up. So clemency to me would mean I'll be able to see my uncle, not just on the free side, but I'll be able to see him. Clemency will also mean that I'll be able to tell my 84-year-old grandfather that his son is coming home. Clemency will also mean that I can go to my grandmother's grave, who he was denied the right to go to her funeral because he was in federal custody, that I kept that promise. While she was dying of breast cancer, she made me promise on her deathbed that I would never stop fighting to help her son become free again. So clemency to me would mean that I've kept my word to my family. As a young girl, it's been a lot doing this all by myself. And, you know, just to finally get a voice, someone to actually hear my cry. And I know I'm emotional. That's because I've seen on Facebook all these denials. But they need to understand that we are these people's family. And we have done year after year. We have answered every phone call. I have answered, you know, everything that I could do for my loved one. So clemency to me would mean a second chance, an opportunity to just hug my uncle without the guards thinking that I'm a female trying to do something, you know, wrong in their jail system. It would just mean so much. It would just mean so much. And I thank you all for hearing me, for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ebony. Now we're going to hear from Ebony and Miko.
Hi, my name is Ebony Underwood.
Miko Underwood.
And we are the daughters of William Underwood. Our father, William Underwood, has been incarcerated for 28 years. It'll be 29 years on December 6th. With Clement, well, let me go into his case a little bit. He received a sentencing enhancement that was made by the judge. There was no jury present, so his Sixth Amendment rights were violated. And that enhancement gave him life without parole. So he currently sits in federal prison with a life without parole sentence. Basically, today, that law is unconstitutional according to the U.S. Supreme Court. The heartbreaking news in his story is that the judge erroneously sentenced him to this life without parole sentence. She made this ruling without a jury present, and she made it upon listening or being referred to by the prosecutor. An error that has cost him his life and has impacted our lives tremendously. Right now, we are completely hoping that President Obama will reconsider and look into his case further. Clemency would, if my question that I have for all of us on this panel is, and for the world, is what is the relief if not through clemency? Clemency, when the law becomes unconstitutional, when you are living in legal limbo because the law is no longer retroactive and does not apply to you, what is the relief if not through clemency? What does someone do when all the laws have changed in their favor and you can't, there's no access to get back into court? What is the relief if not through clemency? So for us, clemency would mean having our father back home. Clemency would mean having our father home for the holidays. Clemency would mean having my son and my nephew and my niece be able to actually meet their grandfather outside of prison walls, having to actually spend time with him outside of prison walls. Shatisa said it best. Being able to actually be present with your father outside of a prison facility, or your parent outside of a prison facility, is so painful to have to continue to go year after year, birthdays, Mother's Days, Father's Days, holidays. Thanksgiving just passed. Our grandmother just died.
His birthday's coming up next week.
His birthday is next week. He's going to be 63 years old. He has a clean institutional record. Clemency for us means a second chance in life, a second chance to a very deserving individual, a second chance to a deserving individual who got railroaded as part of the first round of convictions made under the war on drugs, who has been impacted and by the war on drugs and continues to be impacted by falsehoods made by the war on drugs. And my question is, when we prosecute people, and if the law is law, why isn't the law when the law becomes unconstitutional? Why doesn't the law stand when the law becomes unconstitutional? How is it possible that now that it's unconstitutional, it doesn't apply to cases that have been affected by it in the past, only cases moving forward? The lack of retroactivity in the law is something that really needs to be addressed, because I believe a lot of our family members would be home right now if the lack of retroactivity was applied to a lot of these cases. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong on so many levels. And it's heartbreaking, because all of us as family members are tied right along with everybody right along with our family members having to deal with this. And it's just wrong. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the injustice. I'm tired of it. And we have to do something to change the laws. Thank you.
Lastly, we'll have Ericka.
Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ericka Wilson-Herron, and I am the daughter of Eric Wilson, Sr. My father is a first-time offender for a drug offense, and he's serving a life sentence. Of that life sentence, my father has already served 22 years, I'm sorry. Wow. Thank you guys just for letting me be able to speak about this. Thank you guys. I just wanted to say that. But my father has been served, he has spoken about, he was basically railroaded. My father had never had any other conviction on his record. My father had never been even given anything besides not even really a driving citation. My father was 25 years old. Because of his affiliation with the gang in Chicago, the Gangster Disciple GDs, my father was giving an extreme sentence of life, because when he was incarcerated, and because he didn't give up anyone else, they gave my father the sentence of life and without parole, and never be able to see the outside of a prison again. And just to tell you a little bit about my father, he's been incarcerated 22 years to date, and knowing that he would never be able to see the outside of a jail, he hasn't given up hope. As Ebony has said, my father has a clean, about just as her father has, he has a clean record. Never doing anything or harming one, not being this villain that they said he was, that he didn't deserve to be free again. My father, what clemency means to me is a second chance. For my family to be whole, for others to know my father, not as they said he was, as a criminal and a person that doesn't deserve freedom, but a person that he gets 300 hours a week. I mean, a month. I mean, I'm sorry, not a month. My father has 300 minutes that he has to be able to speak with us a month, and he uses those to make sure that he pays for them on his own. He makes sure those, being a man, a standard person, he made some wrong decisions at a very young age to the way that he would make his earnings, but that was the only way he knew how. Clemency would be men in broken relationships. My brother and my father, they don't have such the best relationship. My brother, he's younger. He didn't understand that, that there was this war on drugs. I didn't know about the war on drugs. I knew that my father was a good person, though. I knew that he didn't deserve to pay for his life because he was only trying to fend and take care of not only myself and my brother, but other family members, such as his 5 siblings, his mother, because my grandfather is also incarcerated, which is his father for all of his life. I never said that before, but my grandfather is also incarcerated, and he was incarcerated when my father was 16 years old. And so at that, by my father being the oldest, what he did was he did what other people around him taught him how to do, which is sell drugs. And he ultimately had to pay for his life when all he wanted to do was generate income to take care of his siblings, his mom, and now at the time when he went to jail, my mother, and which was his wife, and my brother and myself, just making sure that he took care of us the best way he could. But I just want my father to have a chance to be able to be with us and spend the holidays with us. I want my children knowing that we don't have to have people pat us down to go and visit my dad. We don't have to pay $6 for 4 pieces of chicken wings out of a vending machine just so we can spend quality time with my son who's 6, that my father was only able to see in prison. That's his favorite activity and pastime, is to see my father and eat chicken. But we know that if you guys don't know, a lot of times you have to travel with your family, your loved ones, and but.
Thank you, Ericka. I'm sorry we couldn't hear you. You have a very, very bad reception, but I will. Oh, can anyone hear me on the mic? Oh, yeah, she's muted. But excuse me. Can you hear me? Okay, well.
Yes, I'm sorry. I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Ericka, I'm sorry we can't hear you. But thank you for sharing. I would like everyone to look at the programs and also to refer back to everyone's story. Some of the parents were able to actually write in letters to President Obama and some of the family members. So please take a look at it when you get a moment. If everyone would just encourage the ladies, again, as they said, all of their family members are serving life in prison, and without your help, they will die in prison. So I want to thank you ladies again.
Topeka?
Yes.
I just want to say one thing, if that's okay.
Hold on 1 minute, let me turn you up. Go ahead.
I just really want to thank all of you ladies, Ivy, Ramona, Amy, Andrea, Topeka, Sarita. Thank you all for your unwavering support, for lifting up our families, for amplifying our voices, for standing with us and understanding how much pain we are going through and being really supportive to us. We really, really, really you don't really, it's like, there aren't enough words to describe how much we really appreciate your texts, your posts on Facebook, your tweets, and actually being present and standing with us when we are in DC, trying to tell our stories, because it's really hard for us to share the story. It's heartbreaking. We miss our parents so much. We all feel like, I know for me personally, every time I go and visit my dad, it's like I'm leaving him to die. And I feel like every time it's really hard for me to go back to the prison to visit him, because 29 years is like, to leave him in there and to visit him in another facility is awful. So I just want to let you know that you all are so appreciated. Thank you as mothers, as women, as sisters. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really, really, really appreciate you all, and we love you all from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.